we say in Bristol. What do y'all say here? I say howdy. What do y'all say?
Hey.
Hey. When in Rome, then. I've been waiting a week to tell that. So I had this old black truck, and this is true, and my daddy hated it. And I was in love with it. It was an old big GMC, and I was, and kind of sometimes still am, the neighbor that everybody hated. And so I'm going to reinforce a Tennessee stereotype. Y'all won't kill me. I won't tell this at home, but I'll tell it to y'all, so if y'all won't tell anybody back at the house. So I had this old black truck. I bought it from a fella in North Carolina, and North Carolina was glad to get rid of it. It had been on fire. So there was several wires underneath the hood that was kind of melted together. I bought it from Miss Mike Grindstaff's daddy. Some of you may know him, some of you may not. But the wires was melted together, and like the windshield wipers wouldn't work unless you turned the headlights on, honest to God. And so, and sometimes the radio wouldn't play unless you did something else, like with the heater or whatever. So if it was a real hot day and you wanted to listen to the radio, you had to roll the window down, turn the heat on, and hope that it didn't rain or it didn't get dark on you, or you had the whole thing lit up. I took it to a mechanic, and I had him go through the motor, and to make it even more obnoxious than it already was, had a 3-inch homemade lift kit in it. It was just a rolling safety hazard. And I took it to a mechanic, and I said, hey, what can you do for it for like $800? And he said, fill it up with gas. But he found, he had a junkyard too, and he put a different cam in it. He had a buddy, had a muffler shop, had these loud mufflers put on it. And so I'd go down the road, right down by where my mom and daddy lived, and I'd kick it up out of gear, and I'd go, you know, and I'd put it back in gear and drive on. I seen Daddy, and Daddy said, I wish to God, boy, you'd fix that horn. And I said, well, Daddy, the horn works. The motor's just louder than the horn is. So one day there was a woman that was giving away a chest of drawers. Y'all know that's what y'all call them here. There was a woman giving away a chest. I have to be careful because with this accent and the things that I say, a lot of times people just go. So as long as we're on the same level bed. So this woman had a chest of drawers, and we was going to pick it up. And she lived down in Bluff City. Now, I know maybe some of y'all may know about where Bluff City's at. So we went down the road, and Daddy was sitting over like this, hating that truck. And I know my family's been there forever, so I know everybody in Holston Valley. We wasn't making good time, so as I go down the road, I kept kicking it out, get and I'd go on, and I'd see somebody else I know, and I kicked it, and Daddy just wasn't at it. So we get to this woman's house, and she wasn't home. Daddy's sitting over like this. My daddy, he's got a steel rod for a backbone. I love my daddy. This lady lived beside a set of train tracks. There was a train coming. My daddy wears his hair oiled up and slicked back. Keeps a comb in his pocket. If he's got on a pair of sweatpants, my daddy's in his 80s. If he's got on a pair of sweatpants, he's got a billfold and a comb in his back pocket. Train was coming. Daddy perked up a little bit. He said, hey, I know what we'll do while we're waiting on this woman. He said, back this truck out, get beside that train, and we'll see how fast it's going. I said, but Daddy, he said, just shut up, boy, and drive. I was enjoying this father-son interaction. So I fired the old truck up, and I backed out in the road. Here we went, and Daddy, more excited than he had been to be in this truck since I'd had it. The train's right here, truck's right here, and the road goes way on down beside the train track. And Daddy reaches up and pulls his head out like this, and he says, whenever I motion for you, tell me how fast you're going. I said, but Daddy, he said, son, just do it. All right, Daddy. I'm driving down the road, and Daddy puts his head back out there, and that Rose oil is every which way, And here's the train, and Daddy's doing this, and I'm going, and then he'll do this, and I'd let off. And finally, God love him, he pulled his head back in, and that hair was. I told you, I love my daddy, and he's not in Georgia. So Daddy looked at me, and he said, how fast we're going? I said, Dad, I've been trying to tell you. The speedometer's on.